All right, guys, here it is. Finally, the Razer Kitsune review. Wait, hold up. Why is she so dirty? Let me wipe her down really quick. All right, what's going on, guys? So finally we got around to doing the review for the Razer Kitsune. I took my little time with this one because I really wanted to do as much research as I could. I wanted to get really good use out of this device so I can be completely honest with you guys and hopefully try to justify the price for this device. So we do have a lot to talk about. Let's dive straight into the positives and negatives. The first positive for this device is going to be the build quality. The first thing you're going to feel when you take this device out of the box is just how sturdy it feels. It has some weight to it. You're going to feel the metal frame in the front. You got all the rubber in the back so it doesn't slide on your lap, or if you put it on a desk. It just feels really good. The buttons themselves, they feel really nice. You got the touchpad at the top that also feels pretty good. Hell, even the cable feels nice. You got this nice cloth-like material. It's pretty long. The ends are very thick, so it doesn't really feel flimsy. Very good build quality overall on everything that came with this device. So you shouldn't really have to worry about it breaking if you drop it, but you might want to worry about it denting since it is a metal frame. The next positive is going to be the user friendliness. So this device is literally plug and play. It actually has a switch right here to switch it between PlayStation and PC. So you don't got to do any combinations like you have on the other budget options. You just flip the switch and you plug it in and it'll work on the device of your choice. You don't even got to worry about making sure that it's on the right SOCD because it automatically comes installed with the new Capcom standard SOCD, the neutral SOCD. And even changing the way that the lighting works is extremely simple. All you got to do is use the tournament lock. So you make sure it's on the lock, you switch it down. There's a little lock in the bottom, you know, it's so that when you're at tournaments, you don't accidentally press start. And then there's like a little light button here, or I guess that's the start button for PlayStation, but it looks like a light symbol. So you press that and then you can just press the up and it'll change the way the lighting changes. It doesn't change too much. It's not like crazy with the chroma, but you can see that it's changing colors and changing the way it functions. The next positive is going to be warranty and support. So since this is a controller, it's going to have Razer's controller and chargers 1 year limited warranty. That should cover, you know, if any parts go wrong, if for some reason the software on it is acting up, if you're getting double inputs, etc. It should be covered under their policy for 1 year. On top of that, you get Razer support, which is extremely easy to access. You choose your product, you choose that it's a controller, you enter your Razer serial number, which is on the back of the Kitsune, and then you are able to chat with a Razer support agent right away. There's no need to wait for an email back like with the other products. You guys know how much of a hassle it was for me to get a replacement with the B1 PC. So with this, you're able to chat with somebody if you have any questions or you want to troubleshoot something. They are right there extremely quickly, for the most part 24/7. The next positive is going to be the features. The Razer Kitsune actually comes with a bit of features that I do like, especially on a fight stick or a leverless fighting controller. As mentioned earlier, you know, you have your switch to switch between PC and PS5. No need to enter any combination like the other leverless controllers. You got the tournament lock, which is honestly really important because you might actually press that touchpad. You might press the start button. You never know. So it's really handy to have. On top of that, in the back, you have this little lever, this clamp that actually locks in the cable when you plug it in. So then you just close it up, you push it down, and then it also has a switch, and then it doesn't open up and you don't got to worry about your cable being unplugged. You guys know I had a little bit of an issue with the B1 PC that it kept disconnecting just from a little bit of wiggle. With this, you don't got to really worry about damaging the connection. The Type-C port that it has, it also comes with Type-C, which is another feature that I like. The next positive is going to be the size of this device. It'll fit in most size backpacks or messenger bags, or just throw it in your girl's purse if you got one of those. You can see right there on the screen that it is very slim. It's almost the same size as the $50 hitbox, which was extremely thin and small. When it comes to the wideness of the device, it pretty much just takes over the whole $50 budget controller. And same thing with the RTU. This is pretty much the same size as the B1 PC, if you remember that one. So it's still pretty portable. This next one is going to be neutral. It's going to be the overall feeling of the device. That means the buttons, etc. This device overall feels really good, right? The build quality, the amenities, the buttons, they all feel really good, but the buttons are really weird and really hard to describe. When I first started using this device, I thought that the buttons were actually made out of rubber. It's just a really weird feeling that they have when you're pressing them, but it's actually the switches that make them feel like this. The buttons themselves, they're actually made out of a really tough material, just like the RTU or the B1 PC buttons. It's a really hard plastic, but they feel rubbery. The best way I can describe this is if you have any remote control, this is the control to my AC that has rubber buttons and you press on it. That's kind of how I can describe the buttons on the Razer Kitsune feeling. It's just so strange. And it really took a while for me to get used to it. I was actually having a lot of pains on my wrist. It kind of felt like I was getting carpal tunnel when using this device, at least for the first couple of days. After the first week, I had no issues and I really got used to it, but it was just really weird. My hands were getting really tired just from about like 30 minutes to an hour session with this. And maybe that's because I got really used to the silver switches on all the devices that I got, except for the budget one, which was red switches. So again, that might just be a personal thing for me, but I just wanted to point that out, that for some reason these do require a little bit more force, but they do feel good once you get used to them. I just wanted to point that out so that you guys knew. This leads us to our first negative, and that's going to be Fingerprint Magnet. This thing is a fingerprint smudge magnet. Like, let me just bring it up to the screen just to show you guys how much fingerprints and smudges it's gotten just from me touching it after I wiped it from the beginning of the video. So this device is just always going to look dirty. I don't understand. You know, you gotta wipe it down with wipes every like 5 minutes if you don't want it to look like it's smudged. It's just the way the metal plate on top works. I don't know, maybe that's a neutral thing, but to me it's just kind of off-putting when like I gotta look at this thing and it just looks dirty all the time. Maybe I'm just a germaphobe. I don't know. You guys know I had an issue with the B1 PC too, because it was like a dust magnet. It just always looked dusty. So keep that in mind if you are a germaphobe for whatever reason. The next negative is going to be the disassembly of the device. So disassembling the device isn't really that much of the issue. It's that you can't really disassemble it. When you flip it over, you got these rubber caps that come on the back of the device, or like on each corner, and a couple on the bottom and top. Once you remove these rubber caps, there's just going to be some Phillip head screws that you have to take out. And this is actually how you remove the top metal plate, which you can apparently replace and put another plate that Razer has, but we'll get to that in a moment. Once you remove the top metal plate, you're going to see that there's this plastic underplate under. So if it wasn't for that metal plate, this device would actually feel kind of cheap, but that top plate does make it feel more premium. You can also remove the buttons and the switches themselves. You can see the red switch there, the red optical proprietary switches that Razer uses. And you can actually take these out without any issue. They come out just like they did on the RTU, the B1, the cheapo hitbox. I actually used the switch puller that came with the cheapo hitbox, and it came out very easily. But this is where the negative comes in. Apart from taking out the switches and the buttons, you can't get further into the device without really taking it apart and ruining the warranty. Taking off this top plate isn't going to void your warranty, because like I said, this is how you replace the top plate if you want to get a custom one. Which leads us to our next point: customization and parts. When it comes to the Razer Kitsune, there really isn't much customization that you can do. Yes, they have some custom plates like the Chun-Li one or the Cammy one. Hell, they even have some different ones on the Razer website. But it turns out that these plates are actually just the same metal plate, but with some vinyls on top. And they even tell you that if you remove the vinyls, you can't put the vinyl back on. They're pretty much just stickers. So you're paying $35 for a sticker. Like, what? You can't choose different caps. There's not a white version. There's not any other colored version. You can't even choose the type of switches that go in this device. The red optical ones, that's all you get. And on top of that, guys, Razer doesn't even sell the optical switches that this device uses. So if one of them breaks, you pretty much got to go through their warranty to get it replaced. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, how are they not going to have the red optical switches up for sale on their store? However, keychron does have switches that will actually fit it. They're literally the same type of switches as the ones that come with the Razer Kitsune. They're just keychron switches. A whole set of 87 pieces costs $19, which is ridiculous. So you might want to keep this in handy. However, I did read some things on Reddit that for some reason they're not actuating as fast as the ones that come with the Razer Kitsune. So they're obviously doing something with the Razer ones that keychron isn't doing. But just in case it's an emergency or you guys are out of warranty, at least you guys know that you can use some keychron optical switches, at least for the meantime while you get the Razer ones. Razer has stated that they will release the red optical switches, but who knows when that's going to be. And we all know that Razer, just like all their other products, their mice, their keyboards, they're eventually going to release a white version of this, or at least just a top plate that you can put on. And hopefully that won't be as much of a smudge magnet. The next negative is something that kind of blew my mind and caught me off guard, and that is compatibility. So believe it or not, even though this device is officially licensed to Sony, it doesn't work on a PS4, even though it works on a PS5 and it's officially licensed. Like, what? Even their high-end competitive Victrix includes compatibility with the PlayStation 4. Not just that though, other officially PlayStation licensed fight sticks include PlayStation 4 compatibility, just like Quamba. Granted, this is a fight stick and not the leverless controller, but still, it's just such a weird choice for Razer to make. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, before you guys mention Hitbox or Snapbox, those are technically not officially licensed products. They use the Brook boards in them. So, you know, Brook is just kind of like in a gray area. They're just compatible with everything. Even Mad Catz has an arcade stick that's compatible with literally everything. Xbox, Switch. I wonder if this uses like a Brook converter or something, but I couldn't really find the details. Unfortunately, this one's only in Japan. But even this is cheaper and it's compatible with literally everything. It's $250. So yeah, I don't know what Razer was thinking. That's just such a weird choice. And I really hope that they do add it through software, because I know there's a lot of people that play PlayStation 4 still. Now, the final negative for this product is going to obviously be the price. This device goes for $300. And it's very hard to justify that price for this device. Like, yes, it's compatible with the PlayStation 5, but what else? You're pretty much just paying the Razer tax. And it's just so weird because their other fighting game controllers aren't this expensive. On top of that, they want to charge you, like if you get the Chun-Li edition, they want to charge you an extra $30 for a vinyl. Like, I'm not kidding, guys. Like, they have these other ones too. Like, these look pretty dope. If this was the design on the metal, I'll be like, okay, cool, that's worth $30. But it's literally a vinyl. They say it right there. You scratch that, you drop it, your pet gets to it, it starts peeling a little bit. You just wasted $30. Like, it's literally not worth it. I really don't understand how they got to $330 or $300. Like, they're not playing the Brook tax. They're not including a Brook board in it. That's why the Snackbox and the Hitbox get so expensive, is because they're including the Brook board that includes compatibility for the PS5 and PS4 and Xbox and everything. Razer isn't doing that, and they're still charging more than those devices. On top of that, when they released other fighting game controllers, they weren't as expensive. The Razer Panthera, when it came out, was only $200. If this device was $200, I would be like, yes, this is so worth it. But at $330, it isn't. So what is my final verdict when it comes to the Razer Kitsune? If you were looking into making this your first leverless controller and you were waiting for this review, or you were just waiting to see how things played out with this, I don't think this should be your first leverless controller, because you don't even know if you're gonna like it. I can't justify you spending $300 not knowing if you're gonna like it, especially when you can't customize the feeling of it at all. You can't change the switches if you don't like the way the switches feel. You can't switch the buttons, the caps, if you don't like the way the caps work. If you were looking to get into leverless controllers as your first controller, you should definitely go with the $50 budget leverless controller that I reviewed. And if you haven't checked out that review, please go check it out before you make any decisions. The only people that should be looking into this device, in my opinion, are people that just have money to throw away and just want something premium from the very beginning and don't care about the price, or people that, you know, have already been using other leverless controllers and maybe they just want something with a higher quality. Like, besides that, start cheaper, maybe move on up. even if you're somebody that has had leverless controllers and wants to move on to something more premium, maybe I would wait for Black Friday or for this to be a little discounted. I think this device at $200 would be the perfect price. Maybe $250 if they start releasing more switches, more customization with it. Now, don't get me wrong, I love this device. It's the device that I'm probably going to keep using, even though I really love the RTU. I love everything about the device. I just don't like the size is smaller, but RTU did come out with a bigger one, so maybe we'll review that one later on. So with that being said, guys, that's the review. If you guys enjoy it, make sure you DP that like button in the face, hit that subscribe button. We reached 1,000 subscribers and became YouTube partner, and I just want to thank you guys again. Maybe we can get to 10,000 next. Who knows? Leave a comment with any questions. Give me your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.